New toy. New toy. Welcome. Good day. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment as you see fit. Today we're going to cover an article below the fold of the Weekend Journal. This park is my office. Take your picture elsewhere. Let's see where this goes. As you can see, someone just took over the park. Nice picture there.
This park is my office. Take your picnic elsewhere. The urban workforce moves outside, encountering hazards like ants and sudden storms. By Sean Lee. August 28, 2020, 10:10 a.m. Eastern Time. Since he moved his office outside, Arash Azizi has dealt with rainouts, bird droppings, and neck pain so bad that he is thinking about fashioning a harness like the ones used by ballpark vendors so he can keep his laptop screen at eye level. For the 32-year-old writer and graduate student, these inconveniences are no match for the peace of mind that comes with working in nature after months in coronavirus-induced isolation. It makes me feel like I'm much more in control of my life, said Mr. Azizi, who has already set up shop in about a dozen spots spanning all 5 boroughs of New York. The urban workforce is hitting America's beaches, parks, playgrounds, and boardwalks. Fed up after months of toiling away in tiny apartments, many are taking advantage of balmy temperatures and freedom from managerial oversight by toting their laptops and notepads to public spaces where they can sprawl out. But former cubicle dwellers said the move hasn't been seamless. Many have battled spotty phone service, aggressive wildlife, or the unavoidable sounds of nature in the middle of a city. And there are other humans who are always trying to use Prime Park office real estate for things like picnics. At least a half dozen states, including New York, Indiana, and Ohio, have allowed non-essential workers to return to offices, but many people are still wary of enclosed spaces. In New York City, only about 10% have returned to Manhattan's office towers, real estate executives say. Many companies are extending their work from home policies until 2021. Natalie Hubbard, a 43-year-old surgeon, said she strolls down to Rockaway Beach in Queens every other day to send emails or do paperwork while digging her feet into the sand. She has learned to type with sandy fingers, a constant state of being for any seaside labor, she said. She hasn't mastered the outdoor Zoom meeting. One was interrupted by the wails of an ambulance siren, forcing her to duck into a parking garage. Another call was drowned out by the sounds of waves and beachgoers chatting loudly in the background. I had to immediately turn off my camera and run to my friend's house, said Dr. Hubbard, who now avoids taking work calls outside. Design consultant Para Sorensen Paris, who started going to the park every day under lockdown, said one challenge is finding non-distracting backgrounds for work video chats. The 41-year-old settled on a row of bushes outside Manhattan's Chelsea Piers Sports Complex for a webinar on the travails of the fashion industry. She said she regularly has to explain the sounds of barking dogs and screaming toddlers. Mr. Azizi, the writer and graduate student, said at the start of New York's lockdown he compiled a list of about 100 parks and beaches to work from and has hit roughly a dozen so far. Sudden thunderstorms have derailed carefully planned workdays, he said. Birds have landed on his laptop and relieved themselves nearby. Last week, he was attacked by mosquitoes while on deadline. By the time I left, I felt like I had bites all over me, he said. Then there are the contortions required of his 6-foot 6-inch frame to ensure his laptop is at eye level, which is especially difficult while sitting on a bench or towel. Neck pain, it's a major problem, he said. Mr. Azizi said he is planning to buy or rig a system to elevate his laptop, perhaps crafting a mobile desk with a strap that goes around his neck like one his dad once used for working on the couch. It's a niche market, he said. Beyond the bugs and birds, those who have turned parks into mobile offices say there is another creature to contend with, other humans, who are vying for prime real estate and space to socially distance. Chris Elam, a writer on the ABC show Good Morning America, said he started getting up early and to snag his favorite patch next to the Hudson River. For years, the spot has been a gathering place for family picnics and celebrations. Now the site he has nicknamed the Grove has become his office away from home. I'm frustrated if someone else is sitting in the Grove, said Mr. Elam, who was jotting down notes this week for a historical novel he is working on. The 55-year-old said he doesn't mind sharing the space with non-human companions, including a colony of ants that were busily devouring the remains of his coffee. Outdoor aficionados said working outside provides valuable time apart from loved ones. Married couples are not meant to see each other 24/7, said Mike Coy, a 37-year-old musician who was tapping away last month on a rose gold iPad next to the Hudson River in downtown Manhattan. Ms. Coy said she and her husband are squeezed into a studio apartment. He is a doctorate student used to working at home alone. She typically composes inside their building's music room, which has been closed since March because of the pandemic. I come out here just to be alone and to think, Ms. Coy said. She splits her time between the river and a tiny park nearby, returning home only when she needs to pluck out melodies on her piano or guitar, she said. Patrizia Weber, a vice principal at a New Jersey high school, said moving her office to a lounge chair on Rockaway Beach in Queens has been well worth the occasional distraction. I needed to work someplace where I'm not staring at four walls, said Ms. Weber, 38, as she worked on scheduling the fall semester's lineup of classes. Why not make the beach my office? Mark Casey, a 28-year-old community manager at a social media startup, said moving his office outdoors offered a bit of excitement on days that have otherwise blurred together. The highlight of my day is picking which bench to sit on, said Mr. Casey, who was slouched in a seat in the middle of Christopher Park in the West Village. Occasionally, there is even live entertainment, he said, like a drag queen who brought out a boombox to give an impromptu performance for an audience of about a dozen people. That was like a halftime show for the work week, he said. You can't get that at home. Write to Sean Lee at sean.lee@wsj.com.
That's great. This just articulates people are doing it around the world just to find some place to work from. I think it illustrates the issue. I think I'm going to do a side video on my workspace. But anyway, yeah, the park, the beach, the outside the sports complex. These are all things you have to think about now. What ambient noise or what's going to disturb or distract the work. What is your most creative work from home scenario? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video.